Hey everyone, Mark here. I'm in Fort McMurray. I am here for work. I'm just, I actually have some time off here. You know, I finished my whole day at work at like 1 o'clock, so I figured I would come and check out a trail. Gateway Hill Trailhead. This is all reclaimed land. It was once industrial wasteland, so this could be a little bit interesting. I don't have all day, otherwise I would have probably gone out to like Stony Wildlife, Stony Wildland, I believe it's called, south of south of Fort McMurray, but that's more like a day trip, so maybe this will be interesting. Okay, well, I'm bringing us some water, and I'm not even sure if I should bring my jacket or not. It is beautiful out here. It is just awesome. My job brings me all kinds of cool places, but usually I don't have any time off to do things, so this is cool. Well, I am trying to make the best out of the worst time of year to be out hiking. The transition spring is the hardest time to hike. I mean, look at this. I think this is where I'm supposed to be walking. I've been sort of walking on the snow. Over there we have an area with benches and such. It's kind of flooded. I came to this trail hoping to, at least it would be flat and maybe tramp down a little bit, but people don't seem to be coming here, so I don't have any foot tracks to work with. I mean, my vehicle's the only one there right now, and you know, it's a Sunday afternoon, a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. So that's not, I think that's pretty indicative of the kind of traffic that comes here. Okay, well, there's a little rock path over there. This is all reclaimed land, though it was an industrial wasteland. My first initial thoughts, though, is I can still smell the stink of Syncrude here. So, you know, they're supposed to be showing off how they can give back to nature. Well, their plant is still nearby. It still stinks. You lose a little bit of the effect, that's for sure. At least these sculptures are kind of cool. Beware of wildlife, it says. No kidding. This is a lot of caribou or deer poop. And another pile over there. I looked around on maps and such, trying to find interesting trails for Fort Mac. There's rivers around Fort Mac, river valleys. Those are pretty dependable. But with ice and slush and mud all over the place, that's very dangerous. I mean, you know, you're gonna slide down some hillside, or plus I have no idea what these trails are like, so I would just be exploring, which would be fun. But this here, I figured I would at least be flat. And you know, at least I'm staying on top of the snow for the most part. Even when I do sink in, it's, you know, 6 inches maybe, so not bad. Yeah, this is kind of fun. At Chiwan Discovery Trails. Here I was hoping for a nice easy walk because I tweaked my back yesterday. I walked around, I was already tired. You know, my back's tired, but everything else was fine. So I threw on my 60-pound pack and walked for 5 kilometers. Well, right at the end of it, I felt my back pop a little bit. So I'm not really one to sit around and not be active at all. you know, lie on the couch, even though I would like to do that in some ways. I would rather keep active, keep the blood flowing. This snow, though, was maybe a little more work than I wanted to do. I was hoping for a nice 4-kilometer stroll, but I'm dealing with snow. Not that I haven't been doing that for months. Boy, okay, well, you know what? The animals have certainly come back to this area. Poop, 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 poop. I see another big pile over there. There's plenty of, I don't know, my knowledge of scat is still pretty precarious. That looks pretty fresh, but I don't know if it's deer or caribou or elk. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll see a few. At least now I know that deer bounce and caribou trot. So those ones that I saw in White Mud Creek, part 10, those were deer. Thanks to my dad. Let me know. Nice try, Syncrude. This is supposed to be a reliable bridge. It's just as good as some of the ones I've seen in the national parks. But yeah, say a little money could be invested out here. Well, fortunately, it's going over absolutely nothing that's dangerous, so. Snow and the ice is putting a lot of weight on it. And that's probably what made it sag and essentially break. And I think it's pretty much resting on the floor of that little crevice now. Oh. But over here it's starting to look a little nicer. I just went across quite a long stretch there of 6-inch snow that I sometimes broke through and sometimes I didn't break through. Well, it's very clear that this trail is totally ignored by the locals. This is some new scat. I'm not sure what that is. Ooh, I bet that's why you watch my videos, right? Because you want to see good poop. Best of intentions, you know. If I had gone on those River Valley trails, there's fat bikers that tramp all that down. Keep it looking pretty decent. But instead, I'm trudging through several inches. Sometimes it comes just below my knee. But this little lookout looks kind of neat. Let's see here. At least it's in half decent shape still. Well, except the trees have kind of blocked out what was intended to be viewed. I guess it's supposed to stand on here. And it's supposed to be Syncrude, but you can't. Well, the camera can because I'm holding it above my head. But that's Syncrude. I hope you're seeing it. I'm not. This land was reclaimed in 1983, and they planted and topsoiled and everything. But everything ever since then they have ignored it. Because I mean, this is their lookout. They haven't done anything with it. I decided to do the trail. Stubbornness takes over sometimes. And away I go. The trail I wasn't even interested in doing. Here I am, trudging through deep snow to do it. Oh. Yeah, you find these all on the trail. It says when it was topsoiled, when it was tree planted. They're pretty faded. This one here I can read. Topsoiled February 1990, trees planted September 1990. But there's some there. Getting my practice post-holing, that's for sure. Post-holing is when you basically are making giant holes in the snow for yourself to walk through. And that's what I'm doing. Right here it's okay though. That won't last. That will not last. I might be post-hole hiking through foot-high snow in the middle of an industrial wasteland and a patched together nature reclaimed area. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy some time in the sun just lying down. Enjoying some good work. Well, let's see what this viewpoint has to offer, if anything. I think it's more Syncrude stuff, but who knows. This guy has once again grown in. Great that the trees are doing well. At least that will stay here forever, at least until someone else wants something that's underneath it. One thing I keep hearing here is a bird screaming louder than any bird ever could. And, you know, that's how they keep the ducks and the geese and all that off the tailings ponds, is that's either a hawk or a falcon, and they're screaming their brains out as if they're hunting. And that's one way to keep the birds away, I suppose. But it is kind of funny to hear this electronic bird scream every so often. There's a nice square piece of snow. It's funny the shapes that nature puts down sometimes. One more viewing platform, but it's completely covered in snow. For some reason, the others weren't. I could get up on them pretty easy. This one looks like, again, there's no view. So I'm not going to try that one. I'm almost done. Well, that was Gateway Hill. Look at this. Bump the lights. There we go. Well, I remember at the beginning of the trail, I made a decision to get my feet wet or turn back. Well, my feet are wet, plus about the bottom 7 or 8 inches of my jeans are wet. My feet are cold, but I definitely got my little stubborn gremlin out and gave him exercise, that's for sure. Whew, that was a lot of post-holing. I got practice. That's for bloody sure. As far as this trail, I wouldn't come and hike here unless it was at least mid-May or end of May. You know, there's a lot of snow, there's a lot of shadows, a lot of cover. And so that snow is melting very slowly. Mind you, this year, Alberta has had a brutal spring. There's been a lot of snowfall for spring. I mean, we're not used to that anymore. Other than that, though, you know, the trail doesn't have a whole lot to show. It's all right in summer. It'd be a nice little stroll. The stink of the plant, I only smelled it here. And then once I got into the trees, it was mostly gone. So that was all right there. The view points, the view decks are in decent shape, except that the trees have kind of grown in. You can't really see anything. The benches are all falling apart for the most part. I mean, they're still usable, but they're really decaying. And the bridge that I crossed, obviously, is barely functional. But, yeah, not a bad little, you know. I managed to come out and do a hike and see a trail when for absolutely no money. I mean, I'm in a company vehicle right now. I paid nothing to be here. My alternative was to sit around and watch Netflix, so I got to see something, even if I did have to work pretty hard and be pretty damn stubborn. All right, I'm hoping to go to Glacier Lake Trail in Banff National Park in a few weeks. This was good practice. Ooh, mama. All right, see you on the next one.